Figma. For us, that's tools for free, and we can work with that tools in website or in app on our laptop. I have a laptop from Samsung with Windows 11, and I hope you work with that. Maybe you work in MacBook, maybe Linux, why not? And you can use just your browser and work with that. And that is so easy because we don't must pay on something, don't want and use so difficult tools on our laptop. Just take it and go work. So easy. Next point for us, sure, not all tools must for our job. What we must remember about that? Globally, when we start work with the tools, we can have just link on our project where we can find our screen for our mobile app, maybe for website, why not? And for example, I make so small screen for our work in that video, and we can see what we can do with tools Figma, and we'll see so easy and so smart and so good for our job. Well, we'll see. I see my window, and left point I see and 3 for what have my slide. Sure, our background so black now, but globally we can have an other for other project, other rules. That is example have just one screen, so small screen, that's normal. Second, we can have a name for this screen. I mean, like a frame. Globally, that's have a call frame in Figma, like for designer, but for us that's a screen for our mobile app. And next in left line we can find what that screen have a other point, and we can have see a name for that element. Other elements do other job, and sure for navigation for that we can use a left line, or we can just make a double tap, a lot of tap on our element with our laptop, and just choose what we wanna see and found specific details about that element. Navigation we can use first, that is move or hand tool. Hand tool, that's for just go walk on our line, our design, our project, and blah blah blah. And globally I want to use that first, move, and just choose what I want. For navigation I use my laptop, and that's so easy because for me, why not? It's too comfortable for me. Second point, when we work with other elements on our project, we can choose other elements, and we wanna know what we can do with that. And for that we can see on right line, within that we can have not only name that's about that element, about information about layout, color, words, and blah blah blah. For example, that small element have that color that. If we work with text, we can find more specific elements, elements in only text. We can find not only height and width, that we can find font. For example, we have an Inter, but for mobile app, that's not super important, because in Android globally we have a standard that's font Roboto. For iOS we have San Francisco, and maybe other fonts so matter for websites, but for us, like who work with a mobile app, that's not matter point. But for us, so matter that's color, and with color we can new that's normal for us what we have in our mobile app or not. Next functional, that is comments. Sure, when we work with team, we must talk. Sure, we can have maybe other tools for that, Teamworks, Jira, and blah blah blah. But sometimes so comfortable for us that talk on Figma. And for that, we can use a function comment. What we can do, we just find something interesting point, and we will choose the comment functional. A bit. Comment functional, and make this text. We can add emoji and add mention for attention our colleague, specific colleague, and create add small pictures for that. That's too interesting if we have a lot of points, and I think that's so good functional, because sometimes we can lost in long document with other comments about other elements. In Figma we can make for other, how I can say, elements, what we have interesting for that element can be under comments, and we see element with comment and see that's good or not good our situation. And after that work, our colleague can make declines that comment or close that, and so easy. And we can have a long text history about that point. Second point, that is we can work with Figma not only like pictures about our mobile app. We can have a small video, for example, how our mobile app can work, and what designer wanna create in animation and blah blah blah. For that we can use specific prototypes. For that we can just choose our element, what we wanna, and go in prototype element. That prototype not just be for all elements, that's functional creating in our design. We must remember about that. Next point, how we can work with Figma for testing our design. That is so interesting moment, because we have a lot of difficult specific in our mobile app. Sure, we can do something with other tools, with Android Studio, Xcode, in Figma, maybe tools for show our mobile screen on our laptop, why not? And we'll talk about that. Second moment, if we work with mobile app, sure, we can have a situation we don't have a design. That's normal, that's not easy. I don't love that moment, but sure, we can have that moment. But if we talk about situation when we have a design, we must understand what we have in our mobile app and make equations we waiting that, right? And go in double check. For maybe for so difficult testing moment, we just take our mobile smartphone, for example, just I have a testing smartphone, just take that smartphone and open on my laptop design and see that I want or not. That's normal process. If you think that you can have something other, no, it's normal. Second point, sure, in testing questions, we can use other specific tools. You can remember I talked about tools for show screen my mobile app in my laptop. That's so comfortable for me. I just open my app on one screen to single what I wanna see and what I have. And I think we must remember when we work with mobile app, we must remember our mobile smartphone have so other screen, not only size that I can have a problem with other pixel, and I mean not smartphone pixel, I mean pixel in our screen, and that all can exchange our pictures in our mobile app. And a new technology can make automation adaptation, how can I say that, our screen, and we can have as a specific on show our mobile screen. Globally, we have a standard for our mobile app, and we found the standard from documentation or from our PM who talk for us. We test for example, Samsung S24 Ultra or iPhone or Pixel 10 Pro XL, blah, blah, blah. Why not? And after that, we have just only that smartphone and testing like a gold standard for our mobile app. Sure, sometimes we must choose a single with what we will work, or we work with what we have only. When I was a younger junior, I had just my smartphone, and my last smartphone, Samsung 2, and old iPhone. And I tested just only that smartphone because I'm working in startup. Why not? Why not? Next point, and that's point for matter for us, that's work with documentation and design on our project. What I mean, sometimes when our colleague creates a documentation and creates a design for our mobile app, that's documentation have a life, so other space, other rules, and that creates a problem for us. I think first points when we see how our mobile app must work, that's documentation. But my recommendation is make a question for our manager about that moment, and only after that go in testing. Maybe you have a matter design, maybe you have matter just only that, but sometimes the documentation don't have a thing. For that, we must go in documentation, read that and analytic that. If we understand that and the documentation don't have a question, we can go in our design and research that moment. Sure, in my example, we don't have a lot of screen, that's one screen, but sometimes we can have a 20, 15 screen, why not? And we must double check how that system looking like a one element, I mean a single screen, and all that screens. And maybe we have a problem with like songs, that system, because one screen have a one tab, other screen have a other tab and other color. That's not good. That's maybe sounds like a strange example, but sometimes we can have the big problem with that. Sure, in new technology, maybe AI creates so interesting and normal design for mobile app, but sometimes and the AI and our colleague designer can have a miss up in that moment, and we are like QA must remember that and see on that point too. That is all. Go and work with my example design and documentation and create your level on work with mobile app better. And we'll see. Good luck.